build a life and business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. All right, legacy builders, welcome back to another show. I'm so excited to be back with you with another beautiful guest and conversation. Today, we're going to talk about how meditation can help elevate our consciousness as leaders and as company builders. We also believe in the approach of the holistic health and holistic whole as a being, as we are as human beings. So as we are building our companies, of course, we also care about all the other areas of our lives. So I'm so excited to have another guest on today to speak about this topic and more. Welcome to the show, Chris Sirac. Thanks so much for coming on and looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better. So if you could just introduce yourself, we could start with that.
Thank you, Elona. It's a pleasure to be here. As mentioned, I'm Chris Sirac. I was a serial entrepreneur and corporate consultant and have transitioned into executive coaching and mindfulness. And just because I found that those are really the tools that I wish I had had at the time, and now I'm in a position to pass those along.
I love the transition, and I love that you also follow your purpose and calling, because it's many times, as entrepreneurs or business leaders, we tend to stay stuck with what is tried true, or even, for the wrong reasons sometimes. So I love that you made the leap to really where your heart was leading you and where you also felt like you can contribute at the highest level. So beautiful, beautiful work there. So Chris, so tell me a little bit about your journey. So how a few of the most meaningful moments, so to speak, that led you to the work of meditation, and how you're now helping so many people with that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a fairly successful entrepreneurial career. Same thing with corporate consulting, and everything on paper looked great, but something was still missing, and that was more that permanent joy and happiness that we seek from these achievements. But I realized it was fleeting.
Sounds like we have
So to
a
be a better
little
way.
internet. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Chris, can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you perfectly. And so yeah, it was just living for outcomes was leaving me burnt out and depleted, and I felt like there had to be a better way. And even though we achieve things, it's great. We should have goals and outcomes, but there's a certain burnout that happens when we're never present and really never engaged, and always just chasing deadlines and the next milestone. Which as entrepreneurs, we're kind of we do that, right? And to be really present with our activities. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have a to-do list, doesn't mean we shouldn't set goals, but it's to be flexible, to be focused on the task at hand. There's various ways where we can reduce the stress that we're under tremendously, and then also open ourselves up to greater opportunities, more possibilities, options that we wouldn't have seen if we were too myopically focused on one thing. So there's a lot of ways we can improve our entrepreneurial activities as well as our leadership positions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure a lot of the overachievers in our audience can relate to what you said, as well as me personally, about this whole thing of achieving and being an entrepreneur and doing and focusing on all the things that we have to do on our day to day, without kind of forgetting to reconnect with our purpose, our why, and even kind of just feeling good enough for working on purpose and doing things out of that good place inside our heart, rather than maybe for other reasons which are more outside factors. So this is absolutely amazing that you do this work with people that have the need to kind of slow down and start instilling mindfulness in their lifestyle and day to day. day-to-day things that they do. So where do we start with mindfulness, Chris? So what can you share with us based on sort of your framework, your methodology, the way you also look at this whole world of mindfulness? Where can we start as busy entrepreneurs and
Mm.
CEOs?
Well, we can start with what we're already doing. you know, Meditation and mindfulness isn't, we don't need another to-do item on our list. We don't have that time, and we don't need that time. It's doing things more consciously that we're already doing. So looking at existing routines and then building in, for example, working through our senses, and if we're seeing and tasting, touching, feeling, and smelling things with more intention, that's being present, and that's keeps the noise in our head at bay, and then keeps us connected to source, which is the source of creativity, and that's what we need when we're either as leaders or when we're building new companies.
Yeah, I think you tapped on something really powerful, which is creativity. And a lot of us are realizing, especially as we are very aware around personal development and this whole field of us personally growing as leaders. And then, of course, our company will just follow along that. I think it's really important to understand that creativity does come in from those moments that we kind of stay conscious and aware, which is, sometimes so hard because you are swooped into the next thing that you have to worry about, or the next fire you have to set, or kind of the next thing on your agenda or to-do list. So kind of being mindful and coming back to your body with a lot of these things is really powerful. What about your methodology, Chris? So how specifically do you help your clients with
Yeah.
increasing their consciousness and creativity?
Yeah, and you just mentioned the keyword body. It's really staying connected to our body, finding back to it first, but then 30 to 50% of our awareness, our attention should always be with our sensations. How are we feeling? How are we responding? When we're noticing how we're feeling, then we're not reacting, then we're present, and then we're responding to what actually is. And that relationship to our feelings is key to staying out of reactivity, and on the other end of it, seeing things as they are, and then we're open to seeing more possibility, more options, and we become better people, better leaders. We're connected, like you said, to creativity, to what we know is stale. That's kind of the old stuff. But if we really want to be novel in our approach to solving solutions and helping people, we have to stay connected to the flow, as I call it, which is the life force going through us, and we can't be stuck in our body. We have to be aware of that energy flowing. And so those are the things I teach. And again, it's not about creating something new. It's just doing the things you're already doing with more intention.
Yeah, absolutely powerful. I think what you reminded me as you were saying that is, if this our life is a journey and we kind of miss out on the day-to-day pleasures and the things that actually give us joy, then what is the point of all this achievement or success that we want to achieve depending on everyone's goals, right? It kind of just defeats the purpose of just living in a joyful state and nurturing ourselves first and our relationships and all the other things around us. So and also it helps you with your business as well because you're more calm, you're more conscious. Your clients are attracted to your energy, your team is attracted to that. So like it could just have such a like effect in so many of those different angles as well. But let me take you back to that world when you were doing you said business consulting, is that what it is?
Yeah, I was a user experience design consultant for everything from startups to Fortune 500 companies. I taught at UCLA for over 10 years, and then just the individual private consulting as well.
And what kind of made you go from that to what you're doing today? To pivot, so to speak. Well, like was there something like profound or like what can you share about that? It's very interesting.
Aha. Well, the work itself included what I didn't really recognize at the time, but mindfulness principles such as observation and listening and play and curiosity. Those are the things that when I taught creative classes, that you want to tap into in order to come up with novel solutions and stay fresh and engaged and passionate and all that. Personally, I did have, after all of that, more external experience. I did have a personal kind of awakening where it just suddenly things shifted for me, and I started focusing on my inner world. And and then you cannot neglect your inner life for very long. It starts to kind of call attention to it, that there's a much bigger world in there that needs nurturing, and some love, and that's when your relationship with yourself starts to take center, and then you realize everything that you experience on the outside really is just a reflection of the state of who you are on the inside. So we got to nurture that part first and foremost, and then everything else becomes easy.
Yeah, I think you woke up to what I woke up to many years ago, that I didn't know that success comes from the inside out. We're taught that it comes from outside in. So a lot of us, unless something hits us, pain in our lives or some other outside circumstance happens, we don't tend to listen to it. And then that's where we have that awakened moment and be like, whoa, I gotta change some things. And it sounds like for you, that's what happened there as well. And it's very interesting insight that we're actually talking about these topics, because I'm writing my book on leadership and conscious leadership, purpose driven leadership, and of course, being a conscious leader, working with your, being empathetic, being a good listener, right? All these different attributes that we know, or at least we hear that good leadership is all about. Really stem from that inner work, right? That mindfulness, that meditation, those spiritual practices that we as leaders instill in our day to day. So we are also more present for all the people that we under our circles of influence, which is our family, our teams, our clients, all the other people that we get to impact. So it's all like a beautiful interconnection, like how things all connect together, as human beings. So it's very, very, very cool that we're actually getting to have this conversation here today as well. And Chris, based on some of your, I guess, ups and downs of this entrepreneurial journey, because we all know that this is not a straight line for many entrepreneurs as we're building our companies. Based on sort of your personal experience, what can you share with someone that you think might help somebody that might be going through the roller coaster rides of growing a company, that you have personally seen also from all the people that you've worked with, because you have such an amazing experience, as you mentioned?
Yeah, yeah. I launched over 17 companies of my own, and then consulted for many, many more, and mentored for accelerators and incubators, and so deep in that world most of my life. And the very first thing is to really make sure you're an entrepreneur, and you're just born as one, and you just can't stand still. You're always thinking of new ideas, and launching things, and you'll kind of, if one ends, you'll be exhausted, but you'll find yourself picking it up again soon enough, because you just can't not. But so that's the first thing, is to really make sure that you're a born entrepreneur, because you're going to need that passion and that stamina to kind of see things through. And the other thing is to become really clear what kind of entrepreneur you are. Are you early stage, meaning inception and getting stuff off the ground for 6 months or a year, and then you hand it off to someone else? Or are you more of a long-term entrepreneur, and or are you looking to exit? So just getting really clear on kind of what the ultimate goal is of who you are and what makes you tick, and that'll go a long way. So you just don't. That's because how you build the company, and how you structure the team, and how you lead the effort depends on knowing yourself. Again, this is the connection back to knowing yourself,
Mm.
and the clearer you are on that, the clearer your leadership.
Yeah. Ooh, powerful stuff. And so you think that entrepreneurs are born? Is that what you think about? So are we born, or are we made, or can we learn the skill of entrepreneurship? What's your perspective on that?
I've had many conversations, and even just from teaching entrepreneurial classes, my impression is that we're born, and there are some skills that, of course, that we can, if we don't have them, that we can bring on to the team, and in the form of partners or advisors, and but it is really a thing that you're kind of born with. And one of the things that I assumed early on was that just everyone was like me, and that was not the case at all. So you got to be really um, aware of that, and when you pick your partners, when you pick your team, and who you know, investors and all of that, just be very clear that it's all about people, and that you enhance each other, augment each other, and that you understand each other at a deeper level with a common mission.
Hmm. Very interesting insight. Know thyself and then surround yourself with other people that complement you, right? That's the name of the game, even in this journey as entrepreneurs and CEOs. Well, Chris, thank you so much for everything you share. I really enjoyed our conversation today. Do you tell me a little bit more around what you offer? Do you offer in studio meditation classes, or what do you have going on in your world? How do people work with you?
Absolutely. I do everything from individual executive coaching to more creative team management, one-day workshops, both in person or online, or tailored to, you know, it could be a 6-week workshop. It really is depending on the need and what the goal is. So I'm available for all those things, and I have such a vast background. I can put together the right project for anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have the website, which is on the screen, your last name, sirag.com, correct?
That's it.
Beautiful. And I'm sure you have also resources on there so people can continue this conversation with you and really nurture these relationships because that's really the name of the game as we are building our service-based businesses. It's all in the connection, in the way we get to nurture and help one another. And it definitely helps that you have this inner world nurtured through mindfulness and meditation because you're just a better human to be around. So thank you so much, Chris, and definitely follow up with Chris based on this conversation today. If any of what he said resonates, definitely a diverse background, someone to have in your circle of influence for sure. I thank you for your time and wisdom that you shared with us, and I will see you next time with another beautiful guest and conversation. You know where to find our show and all our social media channels and major podcast platforms. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. I am offering a free 30-minute discovery strategy business growth call for you in order to help you discover the foundational gaps that you might have between your book publishing, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so that you can make more impact and income in your business this year. Even if you decide not to receive the further support that I could provide for you, you will still walk away with amazing wisdom and value from my 20-year experience in helping entrepreneurs and growing my own successful business in what are some of the gaps that you are experiencing and how to connect those gaps with your ultimate business and life vision. Schedule a call now as my calendar gets booked very fast so that you could take advantage of this 30-minute opportunity to have a personalized chat together.